The Antarctic Treaty and the Treaty about Fisheries in the Central Arctic Ocean are both successful, but for somewhat different reasons. The Antarctic Treaty was special because it was created during the height of the Cold War. And the two primary antagonists in the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union, were the ones who led the negotiations of that treaty. And the Antarctic Treaty has demilitarized the Antarctic space, and it has held in abeyance the claims of 7 nations who claim portions of the continent. And so thanks to the Antarctic Treaty, we have peace and science in Antarctica, a regime that has lasted now very successfully for many decades. The Central Arctic Ocean Fisheries Agreement is much more recent. It only entered into force in 2021. It is special for some other reasons. Perhaps it is the best expression in international law of the precautionary approach in action. Nations came together and decided to prevent the advent of commercial fisheries in a particular high seas area simply because they didn't have enough scientific information with which to regulate the fisheries properly. So they postponed fishing and started on a program of scientific research and cooperation. Another thing that makes that treaty special is that indigenous peoples in the Arctic were directly involved in the negotiation, and the treaty itself provides for their continuing role in implementing the agreement and for the inclusion of indigenous knowledge in the implementation. So those are some of the reasons why that treaty is special. The BBNJ Agreement, now that it has entered into force, offers the international community another tool for conservation of areas beyond national jurisdiction, including in the Arctic. It may be some time before those tools become of practical use, however. The parties to the BBNJ Agreement will probably spend their first meeting or two sorting out some of the administrative and financial details that were left unresolved during the negotiation. But at some point, the parties to the BBNJ Agreement might turn their attention to the areas beyond national jurisdiction in the Arctic and may choose to create an area-based management tool or call for strategic environmental impact assessments of one or more of those areas in the Arctic that are beyond national jurisdiction. Looking ahead, one might hope that the Arctic could return to being a model part of the planet for international cooperation. We know how to do this. The governments of the Arctic, other governments that have interests in the Arctic, the indigenous peoples of the Arctic, other people who live there and have interests in the region, do know how to come together and solve problems of mutual concern. So in 2050, I hope we're back to that mode of working together.